Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is regarding the switch up from Gemini season into Cancer season. Happy birthday, Cancers. And I have a little prediction reading for you here for the next month. Whether you're a Cancer or not, doesn't matter. You can choose a pile. And let's go ahead and look at each pile. For pile number 1, we have the threshold. Standing at the threshold for pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the nectar. The nectar for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have the warrior for pile number 3. So those are your choices today. You can take a look at each card, or maybe there's a certain color scheme that's really drawing you in. Feel free to choose based on that as well. And you can go directly to the description box below to find your pile. And thank you for being here today. For those of you that want to follow me on social media, I'm Natalie H. Astrology on Blue Sky. If you'd like personal tarot readings or natal chart readings with me, details are in the description box for how to do that. Thank you so much for being here today and supporting my channel. Say hi. I do love all the comments and I do look at all of them, read all of them, and usually reply to many of them as well. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the threshold, and today's reading is a Cancer season reading. We just moved from Gemini season into Cancer season, and we had the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. So this prediction is for the next month or so. And if you watch this video later, like over the next couple days, that's fine. You can think of it as active going out over the next month or so. So let's go ahead and drop into the reading. Pile number 1. For my beautiful pile number 1s. Soar through the air like the birds in the sky. Who are light and free energetically, who are wanting to stay light and free energetically. Let's go ahead and begin the reading for pile number 1 and see. Let's go ahead and see what are the predictions here for pile number 1 for Cancer season. Okay, we've got the 5 of Cups. We've got the 10 of Pentacles, and we've got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, and we have the Death card on the bottom of the deck. Okay, well, no wonder I was like, oh, I just want to be light and free and like a bird and fly away from certain situations and, you know, maybe not have to deal with the heaviness of things. And there's a big "this too shall pass" energy in your guys' pile. And when we're at the threshold of something, there can be a lot of fears and a lot of letting go. And we have to remain very vigilant and strong in our choices and our decisions, okay? And during Cancer season, a lot of you could be thinking about how to make more money, how to get more coin in your pocket. Maybe some of you are wanting to do something different money-wise because you're not happy with what you have been doing and you're thinking about a particular end, okay? Or there could be some regret here as well. Like, I was making more money before, but that situation ended and now it's not making as much money, okay? So I do feel like there could be some energy here around challenges with like your money and your investments, and also if you're happy or not in an environment. You're a very strong person, pile number one. You can withstand a lot. Like, you are very good at withstanding challenging environments and making the best out of situations that are not, you know, operating at your full potential, or definitely you're not. Like, you're very good at sticking out situations that are challenging in order to get to a better situation in the future. Okay. And so I feel like, some of you are hesitant to cross the line with something because you've done it in the past before with this death card, and it maybe didn't work out the way that you wanted it to, okay? But the thing is that you are strong and you survived it all anyway, pile number one, okay? So I just want you to remember that about yourself. We have Neptune and sacrifice. Yeah, sometimes we have to make a lot of sacrifices when we are trying to pursue something, which includes not being very satisfied, fulfilled, or happy with where we are in the moment right now, but we know we're making those sacrifices to get to a better point someday in the future. Okay. And so I do feel like, there can be a situation of, well, how much longer am I going to have to wait with this type of thing going on with the Five of Pentacles, or questioning that. Okay. And let's see oh yeah, we have 8th house here. The 8th house. So Neptune and the 8th house are super highlighted for you guys during Cancer season. Now, perhaps some of you are having transits to your 8th house if you know your astrology. Perhaps some of you have been really impacted by Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries. And, and this is about sacrificing and foregoing things that we want right now financially in order to pay off debt, or in order to become like debt free. So some of you could really be, thinking about things that you've done in the past, whether that was co-sign on a loan, or when you needed a co-signer on a loan and no one would help you with that, or when you were asked to do that for someone, but then they fucked you over, this type of stuff. And sometimes these financial decisions that we make can become very draining, right? And thinking about where there could be holes in your finance, or drains on your finance due to, maybe the terms of a loan, or the terms of a payoff, or the debt that you're trying to pay down. Or sometimes, we do have to make financial sacrifices in order to get to where we want to go with something. Okay. And in order to make this dream a reality, I'm going to need to, I'm going to need to live well beneath my means, Five of Pentacles. And it may not make me very happy in the moment, but I am going to save a lot of money, Ten of Pentacles, and I am going to pay down this debt. And some of you could be having Saturn and Neptune going through your 8th house right now. And you're thinking about these financial sacrifices and new responsibilities that are upon you. So I would say during Cancer season, be very careful of what you agree to financially as well. I'm in huge support of paying down debt so that you can be lighter and freer from that, pile number one. Yeah, so, and this, idea that there's good debt and bad debt, this type of stuff, okay. And some of you could be going through an emotional loss as well, or you were going through an emotional loss in the past that caused you to spend in a way that wasn't good for you, that had, you know, consequences. Like you were making a money, 10 of Pentacles, or you were doing well, but you were not saving or things like that because you were very unhappy with something in your life, pile number one, and you really don't want to repeat those things of the past. And so you're doing the best that you can to deal with your grief or deal with loss without trying to escape from it. Okay. And, you know, you have some really idealized and positive dreams when it comes to getting rid of debt and becoming financially secure. Okay. And sometimes in order to get like our dream car or our dream house or our dream whatever, we have to acquire some debt, but we just want to make sure that we're doing that with our eyes wide open. Now in this picture, she has her eyes closed on this Neptune card. So we really want to make sure like we're paying attention to the details of things. And we have confidence here and we have success. Oh my God. Okay. And this is exactly where, you know, where Spirit is wanting to take you in the month of June, is wanting you to be confident in your ability to create and build the life and the security that you want in your life. Okay. And yeah, that sometimes, you know, paring down or getting rid of things or letting things go and things like that that we don't need or we don't use anymore to help pay off or get rid of debt may be something that is actually a good strategy in helping you to achieve your goals, pile number one, okay? And perhaps for you guys, ever since the death of someone important in your life, or someone walking out and leaving your life, things have been really, really tough, and you've had to kind of shoulder the burden yourself when it comes to, because sometimes people can pass away or people can leave us and we're responsible for everything. We're on the hook for everything debt-wise, okay? And Spirit's reminding you to be like confident in your own success, that this too shall pass. And I was really getting that energy. In the tarot, the 10 of Pentacles is the Lord of Wealth. And so you are successful. You will be successful if you have been experiencing leaks in your finances or things going out the door because you're unhappy. I feel like you're going to get control of that, pile number one, okay? And we have regret and repression. Okay. Well, I feel like someone does really miss you, pile number one, because they didn't necessarily realize at the time how many sacrifices you were making for them. And, you know, there's this whole thing, like sometimes when we're with someone, the other person will take a couple steps back in their career so that the other person can go forward, like that type of thing. And, you know, this could be where we regret, like, I regret that I never went to school. I regret that I never spent that money. I thought that this person, it was going to be my turn to go to school. I thought it was going to be my turn to, you know, do what I wanted to do. But then that person left me and left me with all the debt. And pile number one, that is a very rough, intense scenario to go through in life. And perhaps there has been some regrets about, like, you know, I wish I would have, you know, I wish I would have. And for those of you that have been like going through a divorce or splitting finances with someone, and you're like, I wish I wouldn't have trusted that person so much. I wish I would have known more of what was going on financially. and they wouldn't have just like kind of tried to take everything, you know. And the thing is, pile number one, is I feel like regardless of whether that person stays or goes, you're going to be confident and successful on your own. Now, have things been harder? Have things been tougher? Has it been harder to get through things? Absolutely. The Five of Cups can make us feel like we're swimming through molasses. Like it's like, ugh, you know, just emotionally heavy. But I feel like the reward at the end of the day is you knowing that you did it yourself, that you took care of you, and you're the one that gets the credit for being confident and successful. Okay. I am positive. Okay. And this is where your guardian angel is teaching you the essence of love. You are encouraged to have faith that the universe will provide for you while you are manifesting your inner desires. Okay. I am positive. All right. Even though I'm a little scared, even though I'm a little like shaky, and because in the past, like somebody fucked me over with this and left me with this debt or things like that, I am positive that I'm going to be successful and this is going to work out and it's going to be okay. Okay. And I'm going to have faith, Neptune, that the universe will provide. And that I will be successful. And even if I'm going through a lower point financially, or wishing I made a different decision in the past, whatever it is, that I'm going to stay positive about today. Okay. And that's where, yeah, I feel like you're really winning pile number one. We have Lion and Control. Okay. If you have moderate aggressive impulses, this is an invitation to control your temper. You are encouraged to explore how to express your needs or thoughts more openly or constructively to reduce your levels of frustration. Now, honestly, I feel like pile number one, some of you could have had like an ex that I feel like could have been, or people in your family, etc., that had very much had like very strong Leo energy or lion type energy in the negative sense, where they tried to dominate or control situations, or it tried to make you feel like the weak one, or make you feel like you weren't strong enough to handle something. And I feel like that pisses you off so much, pile number one, to be assumed that you don't have the strength to handle shit in your life, because you have handled disappointment and frustration and emotional pain in the past on your own, might I add, pile number one, many times. And I feel like, you know, some of you could have had an ex or a family member or something, or somebody in your life that was very physically intimidating, that towered over you, or was very tall, or was very physically intimidating, and tried to make you kind of like go along with things. And I feel like this is something where you're like not scared of this person anymore. You're not scared of these types of people trying to be dominating or controlling anymore. Or you're not scared of them trying to take advantage of you anymore. Like you're like, no, I'm going to push back. Okay. And you know what? I am pissed off and I am mad, and I am going to openly and constructively express how I feel, and I'm not going to just take it. And so I think that that is something. And Lion is Leo season. So Leo season could see a whole new you, pile number one, as you're getting ready to move into Leo season. Cancer season's right before Leo. So, you know, this is kind of like a clearing up of past shit. Okay, a clearing out of past shit, or past disappointments, or past pain, past regrets, letting go of that, building the self back up, becoming confident and successful. I feel like Leo season's really going to be great for you guys for that, okay? We have bad habits. Face your challenge and kick the habit. This will raise your vibration. Yeah, and this could be with Neptune in the 8th house, where we have some bad habits around spending money when we're unhappy. Okay, and in here she's smoking or vaping. Her eyes are red. She also has a glass of wine. And Neptune can be where we are, like where we're just doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing. And some of you could have had an ex that was very demanding, that was like, you need to stop all of that. Okay. And then you would go and do those habits in secret, or you would go and do those habits behind their back, because they would try to control those habits, which would just make them even worse. And dealing with this person's temper or dealing with their attitude towards you is probably something that created the urge to kind of engage in some of these bad habits, pile number one. And removing yourself. And Neptune is the planet of addiction, right? Where we are trying to put some boundaries and control around our own bad habits and our things that we do to sabotage ourselves, okay? Or the things that we do that are just like ruining our health or ruining our physical or emotional health. And I feel like you guys during Cancer season, you are going to have a lot of success with that. Okay. If you're trying to quit something, if you're trying to stop doing something, stop vaping, stop drinking, stop shopping or spending money when you're upset or whatever it is, right? I feel you are getting control of these habits. And it would be easy to go back and blame this person in your past for all this. And I feel like at the time they were a person to blame, because they really put you on edge with how you were feeling. And so you could have turned to different things to escape those bad feelings that you were getting from that controlling person. But I also feel like you're in a sense of the Five of Pentacles, of taking responsibility for your own self. Like, when that person left, or when they were no longer in my life and I was sitting there by myself, and then after they walked out the door, I realized, there's a lot of stuff that I need to do in order to get to my goals and where I want to be in life. And there's a lot of, things about the way that I treated myself in the past that I just quote unquote ignored, that I need to face the reality of and take control of. And I feel like you're definitely working on that during Cancer season, pile number one. Like, you are working on that. And I'm proud of you for working on that, because that's really hard to do. And as you work on those bad habits and get even better with them, it's going to raise your confidence and your success vibration overall. And it's like a whole new you is going to really start to come out. We have inner truth. Oh boy. Isn't that the truth, right? This is the purity and the clarity to make contact with our own inner truth and to penetrate the illusions, right? And this is where Neptune, where we realize hanging on to an illusion about something is like, poisoning us, and that we don't really want to be hanging on to that bitterness anymore. With the Five of Cups, we don't want to be hanging on to that emotional pain anymore. And we don't want to keep blaming people in our past for our bad habits. Sure, they probably were the reason that they started, but they're not the reason why they have to continue, right? And so working with that, consciousness and that purity and that inner truth within. And there's this whole thing about inner truth and how we want to try to remove illusion or delusion, or not seeing something clearly, or ignoring things about what we need to let go of or grieve or let go of. Like that we try to escape without actually having done the emotional work of grieving and letting go, and how like on an inner truth level, we're so much more peaceful once we actually do go through that grieving. And so, yeah, pile number one. And oh yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, pile number one. You're built differently, my friends. Sun in Capricorn. I knew it. I absolutely knew it, my friends. Of course, like I said, how strong you are, how resilient you are, how, you know, how much you take on and how much you put on yourself. And at times, perhaps, maybe even energetically, you've taken on other people's failures and you've, you know, absorbed them as your own. Neptune. For those of you that have Neptune in Capricorn, or you have Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Capricorn, welcome to your reading, pile number one. And oof, I love it. I'm getting chills because I knew that you were this diligent, hard worker that was gonna strip everything down to the bare essentials to see the pure truth of everything. Even if it was hard, even if it meant admitting to yourself where you went wrong, that you were gonna climb those stairs anyway. And for some of you, this may, I mean, I see all the stair climbing here. So some of you may be hitting the stair climber extra hard, for those of you that like stair climbing, or hiking, like super hard stair climbing, doing stairs. I remember there was this place when I lived in LA where there was like this big incline and you could go all the way up to the top and walk up all these frickin' stairs and get to the top, and then you would see like LA sunset. And it was very, very beautiful, very pretty, very soothing to the soul. Of course, Capricorn is opposite to Cancer. They have a lot of things in common, but yet are different. And that energy of climbing all those individual stairs to get to the top and then having this beautiful, like, emotional experience was definitely like, wow, this is really cool. And it feels good to exert ourselves, or to be able to exert ourselves, because being able to exert ourselves is a privilege in our society where a lot of people are not like physically well enough to really even exert themselves or try anything new or do anything hard. So pile number one, I see the stair climber in your future. I see the stairmaster. I see hiking up the stairs as part of your future, but you get to a very beautiful view. And sometimes that is the richest moment in life, truth be told. So pile number one, that is what I'm getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated, and do let me know in the comments how you felt about that reading. Take care, my friends. Let's move on to pile number two. Okay. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the Nectar, and today's reading is a Cancer season prediction reading for my beautiful pile number twos. And the sun just moved into Cancer, and it's making a lovely contact with Jupiter. So I know the world is pretty crazy right now, but we'll try to get the good things where we can. All right, pile number two. And this reading is operative for the next month, okay, from whenever you really watch this reading during Cancer season. And let's go ahead for pile number two. Oh, there's the Queen of Cups. Of course, she represents Cancer in the tarot. So maybe we have some Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer folks in this reading. Let's go ahead and see. Show me predictions for Cancer season for pile number two, please. We all could afford to take a moment to rest, couldn't we, pile number 2? Can we afford to take a moment to rest and relax? Is that okay, right? There's the 2 of Cups. Beautiful. King of Cups. Oh my God. And the King of Swords. Oh, wow. Okay, and we have the Strength card on the bottom of the deck. Me likey what I see, pile number 2. Now, I feel there's a reconciliation for you during Cancer season. And this could be where 2 people are very, very different, okay? And, you know, the King of Swords in the tarot can be Gemini or Aquarius energy. The King of Cups could be Pisces or Cancer energy. I just keep thinking of how different Cancer and Aquarius are and how they don't always like see eye to eye on everything, and how 2 people can both be right, but they just have a different way of looking at the world or of judging things or analyzing things. And it doesn't mean that either one is necessarily wrong. It just means that it takes a little bit of extra work to kind of get on the same page with another person. But, you know, the 2 of Cups is a beautiful Venus in Cancer card. And it is about getting on the same page emotionally, figuratively. It's about gentle, inviting touch. It's about a kind overture to another person. It's about finding more similarities and healing with someone that maybe doesn't have similar ways of thinking or doing to ourselves, but, you know, finding that similarity that causes us to be able to reconcile or be gentle with one another, or at least consider each other's feelings, okay? And with the Strength card here, you know, someone does step up to be like the bigger person, right? Because if there's like, you know, stubbornness or like seeing things in a different, you know, somebody sees things in a different light. And it's all about accepting the other person, right? Maybe I'm not exactly like them and I wouldn't run my life the same way as them, but I can still appreciate who they are as a human being, okay? And so I feel like there's a lot of this kind of, you know, reconciliation, recognition of, you know, one another's divinity or right to choose their life and how they want to live it. I feel like is really coming up in the reading, and particularly the energy of somebody willing to like be the bigger person and maybe apologize even too if there was any tension involved. So let's see what we've got going on here. We've got the North Node and life's purpose. Wow. Well, in like cosmobiology, which, you know, was a type of astrology that was really, or Uranian astrology, which was really practiced by the Germans, they often talked about the North Node as being, you know, connections or making new connections with new people. And that could be friendship, that could be romantic connections, that could be reconciliation, where you know, there's one person who's more emotional or more highly sensitive, and then there's another person who's more rational and focused, okay? But we find a way, we connect with each other. It's like, it's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy. Like, we are so different, but yet we connect on like so many levels. We have the 10th house and the world, okay? And that's a very ambitious combination. The 10th house is where we make ourselves seen and known in the world, and also where the North Node is where we have major things that we want to accomplish, and we're really hungry to get that recognition, and we're really like going for what we want, and sometimes to the detriment of sometimes to the detriment of other things in our life, like love or connecting or taking time to get to know someone or talk to someone, because we're putting so much energy into our work or our career, which is great. I mean, that's amazing. That's awesome. And I feel like, Cancer season for you guys could really be highlighting your 10th house of career and reputation, and how you conduct yourself publicly in the world, and how you get to know people, and what's your face that you put forward to the world, and also, what you are with the North Node, like what's really driving you to achieve is what I feel here. What's really driving you. And we have space and we have strength. Wow. And this is where we give people the ability, the space to be themselves. And we don't take it as a sign of, when somebody asks for space, we don't take it as a sign that they don't like us or they don't want to be near us, or that type of thing. If somebody asks for space, then we take it as a sign that they need their, they need their freedom, or they need space in the moment because they're busy pursuing things in the world, and they'll come back to us or talk to us when they're ready to, right? And we will let that person take the space that they need, okay? And giving people the space to kind of do their own thing is a sign of a healthy, adjusted person who is strong. So I actually like that a lot. We have forming, structure, and solid foundation. Okay. And and it's like, I really like this person a lot because they give me the space to be myself, okay? And some of you could be in a hardcore building phase right now, when it comes to your work, your career. You've got big dreams, big goals, big ambitions, or this person does, or both of you do. But it's reminding me of that song by Biggie Smalls, where he says, "I used to be only a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, salt and pepper heavy on the scene. It was all a dream." Okay, and and then now he's talking about, like, he used to just read about things in the magazines or the news or whatever, and imagine himself as being a part of that, and then all of a sudden he became a part of it, type of a thing, okay? And so let's see here. This could be somebody who wants to be famous, or somebody who has really big ambitions for taking something over, or being the head of something, or being involved in politics, or getting famous because of their music or who they are in the world. Like this, with the 10th house and the North Node, this is like, somebody who's really wanting to chase their dreams, for sure. Okay, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Anyway, I am a creator, and this is the King of Cups, okay? And I feel like you're really coming through as the King of Cups, pile number 2, and I feel like this other person is coming through as the King of Swords, and it says, "You are one with the Creator, and there are no limits to what you can achieve." Okay, you're a creative problem solver, I feel like, pile number 2, and you're really good at getting people to realize like what they have in common, or how they could work together in order to make a dream or a goal become a reality. And what I feel like you're really growing into is giving people the space to like be themselves as they are without trying to control them in any way, and just let them be themselves. And if they need to take space, let them. I feel like is kind of where you're coming from. Like you're appreciating someone for who they are without becoming clingy to that person. Okay. And that takes a lot of trust, because sometimes when we give someone space, we don't hear from them for a while. Or things kind of go dark, right? With this space card here, or we don't necessarily like know if we're going to hear from this person, or, you know, they could be very busy doing other things. But, you know, guess what? Pile number 2, you're really busy doing things as well. And I feel like you guys are super creative, and there's no limits to what you can achieve. Yeah, that is the North Node in the 10th house. Okay, you are one with the Creator, and there is no limits to what you can achieve. And you have the ability to create something new and incredible in your lifetime here on Earth. And I feel like you're all about drawing in the right people to support this endeavor, or, you know, talking to other people who maybe have a different perspective in order to, and maybe you're more of the creative person and you're talking to somebody who's more of like the business person or more of the rational aspect of things. Okay. And there's a way to say like, okay, this isn't necessarily my area of strength, but I'm willing to trust this other person to kind of guide me in that area and sort of let them in on this project. And I see like creative collaboration with the 2 of Cups that ends up going really, really well. Although you and this person are very different. And I do feel that you have this energy of like unlimited, untapped potential around you. And, you know, for you, you may need somebody that is really good at putting that into a structure, or putting like a solid vision or structure or plan around something. Okay, and a solid structure or a solid foundation is starting to form around something, I feel. Okay, and something is starting to take shape. It started as like a brand new idea or a brand new concept, and you weren't exactly sure, I feel like, pile number 2, how it was going to work out. And maybe you gave it some time in your mind to think about it, and now you're like, no, I actually do want to go forward with this. Okay. And oh, we have the ant energy and perseverance. And you know, ants work in a colony and they work together. 2 of Cups, right? They collaborate, they work together. This is a message of patience. Whatever is going on right now, you cannot be so impetuous. By pacing yourself, the end result will be far more rewarding. Yeah, and the North Node is like, I know my dream and I want it now. Okay, give it to me. Gimme now. And there is a message of, you know, taking our time and pacing ourselves with things. The end result will be far more rewarding and will last much longer into the future and be much stronger if you slow down and you don't rush things and you work carefully in the situation and you learn to accept help from others, is what it says, right? Which is the King of Swords coming in here, and this 2 of Cups of, you know, I'm gonna work diligently. I'm gonna accept help from others. I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna take my time. Yes, I have massive, grand, you know, visions for what I want for my future, but it'll be there tomorrow. Okay, if I don't do every single thing today, if I give myself space and time to kind of execute on this, it's going to become stronger over time. All right, I'm not going to rush myself into doing something right away and then having it like, and it's good to remember that Cancer is cardinal energy. It's a cardinal sign, and all the cardinal signs jump to do something right away. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Jump right in there, you know? And the thing is that we sometimes have to take our time with things and learn to take it a little bit easy and slow down, all right? And there's actual strength in giving ourselves space to breathe with that. We have permission. Allow spirit and source to work through you, okay? I give spirit the ability and permission to work through me, okay? And sometimes in order to do that, we have to slow down and think carefully and give ourselves some space and time. We're not going to make decisions overnight. We're not going to do everything in one fell swoop. But we're giving permission. And we're giving someone else, I feel some of you here could be giving another person permission to help you or work with you on something. I feel pile number 2. And give you advice, perhaps mentor with the King of Swords here, mentor you, advise you, you know, share wisdom, share data with you. You're giving someone permission to like look at your work with you and advise you on it, okay? And you're eager. I feel you are very eager for feedback, and you're very eager to share your work with others. But you're also very like emotionally attached to what you're doing because you created it. You are the creator, okay? And, you know, this King of Swords may come in with advice like, you need to give it more time. You need to work on it more. It's not quite there yet. You need to finish this, this, and this, and do this, this, and this. And you're like, okay, I still have a lot more work to do. That's fine. All right. But I feel like the advice is very well received. Pile number 2. Like it really is. And we have discipline. Yeah, we have structure and discipline. And there's the man with the sword. Again, the King of Swords is really coming through strong in your reading. And I feel like, you know, it's not a bad energy. It's a friendly energy. Now, and this energy is really encouraging you to be disciplined with your time, with your energy, with your effort. And, you know, the King of Swords is all about creating a strategy, right? Okay, so we've got this amazing idea. We've got this approach. We've got this thought. We've created this thing. How can we make this work? What is the strategy around this? Okay, and what's the plan to like market this or mobilize this? All right. And, you know, maybe this is both, maybe this is you, pile number 2, and you're having to wear 2 hats, and you're starting a new venture that you're really excited about, and you're both creator and, you know, strategy, marketing, etc. And you have to wear 2 hats, and it's very hard because they're very different roles, you know, discipline and strategy versus the creative role, okay? But you're gonna get even stronger at it, even better at it as you exercise those muscles. It's time to take the bull by the horn and mobilize forces and get things moving, okay? And yeah, we have Moon in Virgo, definitely. So we have details, 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 work, work, work. But it's nice. I feel like it's a good partnership, or, you know, and maybe there is a shifting of gears that is happening for you during Cancer season, okay? I went through the creative process. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really want to bring someone in with different expertise who's more analytical. But at the same time, this person's telling me I need, you know, to keep working at it, or there's more to do here. All right, but that's fine. I mean, we have contentment here. A chance to boost health and vitality leads to satisfaction. And yeah, and I feel like you're content with the advice that you're getting. And some of you could, because this is health and vitality, some of you may be seeing a doctor during your Cancer season, and they may have a lot of advice for you, a lot of things to share with you, and they need you to be a lot more disciplined about, you know, diet and health and all of this. And I feel like once you put those routines in place, you're a lot more content and you have a lot more energy to actually work and get shit done. So like, it's a win-win, honestly, and it creates good vibes. And sometimes like a moment of honesty and straightforwardness can be the thing that we need in order to get us on the right track from a disciplined perspective. And I feel like Cancer season is a good time to think about, you know, your discipline, your structure, your day, like, you know, because you are trying to do a lot in the world and you have big dreams, big goals, things here, but you know, in order to persevere and work hard and, you know, get everything moving, you've got to like eat right, get the right sleep, you've got to, you know, take care of your physical body, you've got to put in the right nutrition. You know, there's a lot of things to think about there. But I feel like you are becoming very disciplined during Cancer season. And somebody is like challenging you to become more disciplined. And I love it, actually, pile number 2, because I feel like you and this person are actually on the same page, 2 of Cups, and you actually are supporting one another in that. And maybe some of you will be with your romantic partner, you're going to be, or your friend or romantic partner, you're going to go on a diet together, or you're going to do a new routine together, or, you know, just something that really makes you feel a lot better and gives you a good boost in your vitality. Okay. And, yeah, details, 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 of course. And I feel like this King of Swords has their head around all of that. And you're going to need some time to implement some of the things that they're telling you. But it's really helpful advice, pile number 2. I feel that it really is. So wishing you all the very best with that. That sounds actually kind of lovely for building a beautiful, successful you. So take care, pile number 2. Wishing you the very best. And let's move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Warrior, and today's reading is for Cancer season, and we are getting some predictions for you, pile number 3, and we are gonna take it to the max, okay? And for about the next month, the sun is going to be in Cancer, so these predictions will hold for about the next month. And let's go ahead and for all my warriors that chose pile number 3, Spirit, show me predictions for pile number 3. What is Cancer season going to be like here for pile number 3? All right. Prince of Pentacles. Prince of Wands. Oh my gosh. Okay. And 10 of Wands. Oh, wow. All right. And interesting energy. We've got 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of people wondering what's going on with you during Cancer season. Because you seem to be like kind of overworked, overwhelmed, maybe a little dramatic energy going on there. Pile number 3. Okay. And I feel like there could be somebody checking in on you and saying, hey, are you okay? How's it going? Let's see what else we've got here. There's definitely 2 people showing up in your life, I feel. Pile number 3. Okay. And this could be 2 coworkers, 2 friends, 2 lovers, pile number 3, okay? But there's 2 people who are really wondering what's going on with you or what's up with you. And wondering if you're kind of doing okay with things, because things are looking pretty like there's a lot with this 10 of Wands that's going on. And I feel like their attitude towards you is, you know, do you need some help, or can I do something to help you here? Okay. And maybe for some of you, you don't like asking for help. Pile number 3, you chose the warrior pile, and you're not big on asking for help or whining or complaining about things. And you just do whatever is on your plate and no questions asked, and you're not one to really whine or complain or anything about it, okay? But I feel like there are some people who are looking at you and thinking, oh boy, it seems like your energy's been a little off, or that we haven't heard from you, or you just seem like you've been too busy, okay? And this could be 2 friends of yours, pile number 3, who are like concerned with what's going on with you or how you've been lately. But I feel like, you know, these 2 have like thought bubbles over their heads that are saying, hey, you still alive over there, pile number 3? You doing okay over there? And I feel like you're kind of raising your hand out of the rubble, and you're kind of like, I'm okay, I'm all right. This is kind of crazy. I'm okay, but I don't really, this isn't good, you know, like there's just, the world's crazy, okay? And, you know, some of you could be very overwhelmed with what's happening in the world or all over the world, or just feeling very like overwhelmed by a lot of it, okay? And let's see what else we've got going on here. But the good news is that there are people that care. There are people that are like, hey, are you okay? Hey, what's going on? Hey, and I honestly feel like, you know, there are people that are like, let me take some of that off your shoulders, or let me actually help you with that, okay? Is what I feel. And, you know, that could be such a welcome relief, pile number 3, because honestly, in the past, it may have seemed like when you were like drowning, that people said like, hey, how are you doing? But they did like, there was no real offer of support, or they just kind of like watched from a distance as you were kind of like melting down, that type of energy. Okay. And with this 8 of Cups here, maybe it made you feel kind of alone at times. Okay. Or it made you feel like, well, other people are just doing better than me. Or maybe I'm just being dramatic, or this type of thing. Okay. So let's see what else we've got going on here. We have Pluto in transformation. Okay. And we have the 9th house and faith. All right. Well, in Cancer season, Pluto is definitely a big player for you guys. And Pluto is in Aquarius right now. And perhaps some of you have Aquarius ruling your 9th house. And so Yeah. There is like a lot of changes in what you believe about the world, or what you believe about people, what you believe about yourself. I feel like there's some big, big changes there. Okay. And also this belief that, people are very like abandoning and kind of will like leave you to struggle, right? So I feel like that could be something that you're wanting to like get away from, or you're not really wanting to deal with anymore. Pile number 3. We have anxiety here, okay? And we have protection. All right. So, and there's a lot of fear going around in the world right now because of, religion and bombings and people's faith and what they do and don't believe in. And there's a lot of people who've sat idly by and kind of watch as other societies are like getting destroyed, or there's a lot of fear and anxiety going on right now in the world. And there's a lot of changes in the way that the world is operating, is what I feel, pile number 3, okay? And Spirit just wants you to know that you are protected, okay? And if you're feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of intensity, because Pluto is definitely coming through with the intensity, and have faith that you are protected, and Spirit sees your struggle, pile number 3, and you are protected. Okay, so for those of you that have really been battling with anxiety and really been battling with feeling really nervous about what's happening, not just in your own life, but around the world. And maybe some of you are needing to like cut off from the news for a while, or, take a break from certain things for a while. Okay. And, one thing that I feel is that your philosophy, your thoughts, how you view religion, spirituality, faith, like a lot of that is changing. And a lot of it has to do with the way that other people view others who are suffering, is what I feel, pile number 3. And this is kind of a deep reading. It's not like, well, you're going to go to the mall on Tuesday and then you're going to get your nails done on Wednesday, which may happen, pile number 3. But there's like something much deeper going on here too. And maybe some of you have been going through like a spiritual crisis with Pluto in the 9th house, or you've been feeling like the beliefs that I've held for the majority of my life have all they've done is like give me more anxiety, and they haven't done anything for me, or I would like to change my beliefs, or I would like to go. And some of you may be wanting to go deeper with your spiritual studies. Okay. You may want to, for those of you that are tarot readers, astrologers, you see the state of the world, you see what's happening, you see how others are suffering, and you want to be able to do something about it instead of just sitting there and observing, right? Because the Prince of Pentacles versus the Prince of Wands, right? The Prince of Pentacles is more of an observer. And look at the way his arms are crossed, right? And this is where we are observing a lot of trauma happening in the world, right? With Pluto, like we're observing trauma, we're observing things going on, versus the Prince of Wands, which is more about bravery and action, and defending and standing up for other people. And how can I, instead of having a cold response of just standing back and observing something, how can I do something and actually get involved, right? And I do feel like, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that this is coming up as a heavy theme in this reading, because there is a lot going on in the world right now. And for people who are energetically sensitive, there is a lot of anxiety right now. And we are seeing people like, you know, one hand raising up out of the rubble. Look at that with the 10 of Wands, how the one hand is kind of like coming up out of the rubble. And we're seeing how, you know, people are being crushed and how people are being trapped, and how, you know, like it's very challenging to see that. And some of you here, maybe you have dealt with, you know, extreme phobias about getting trapped in a small area, or getting crushed or trapped, or claustrophobic, okay? And you're working on overcoming fears that have to do with feeling trapped or claustrophobic. And maybe some of you are wanting to travel with the ninth house. You're thinking about taking a trip or going somewhere, but with everything going on in the world, it's like, I don't know if it's the best time, and I think I should stay here because I don't know. And yeah, so there's just a lot of things going on with that. And there's a lot of intensity happening in the world, and a lot of things that we're witnessing as human beings that seem very unfair, that make us very angry, that make us want to fight back and do something, rather than just kind of like cold observation of something. Okay, and maybe some of you, you've had people in your life like observing you coldly while you were really going through hard shit, and that you like understand how toxic and awful that is, and you don't want any part of that. And you're all about, you know, helping to take action in the world, to heroic action if need be, to help others get out of a place of being trapped or oppressed. And there's something going on with this for sure, pile number 3 in your pile. And it's there. We have guarded and vulnerability, okay? And again, we have the arms folded in front of the chest, and then we have her arms are kind of folded in front of her chest, okay? And everyone can be very guarded about saying what they believe or how they feel about something, or not sharing that with other people because they're afraid of the reactions of other people and how that's going to go. And a lot of, you know, anxiety can come up that we're not going to be protected, we're not going to be. And, you know, Cancer is a major energy with vulnerability. And Cancer has the hard shell on the outside, which is about where we can be very guarded, especially around places in ourselves that have been deeply traumatized and very, very much emotionally wounded and traumatized. Like, we can be quite fierce about, you know, not letting anybody in to that. And I feel like as a collective society, all of us have become so guarded from letting anyone else in, because we're all have so much anxiety around these places that we've been wounded, right? And so there's definitely, I feel like there's a wistfulness here, pile number 3, because it's like, well, I would love to be able to trust someone when I'm really down and having a difficult time. I would love to be able to trust someone, but I've only ever been able to depend on myself, Prince of Wands. And you know, and I've just been so guarded about letting anybody else see me hurt or struggle or suffer and very much perhaps afraid of people's judgment or criticism in times when you're hurting and struggling. And I can feel, I feel that a lot, pile number 3. I really, really do. I get your pain with that. And I feel like there's this look on your face that says, I wish I could trust somebody with my secrets. I wish I could trust somebody with what I've been through. I wish I could talk to someone. I wish I could share that with someone. But I just can't. I've had to be like so strong about defending myself and so strong about withstanding oppression and things like that. I just feel like I can't like let anybody in, you know, but I'm scared and I want to let someone in. So there's that, I feel like, that's going on in your reading. And we have I am charismatic, which is very much with this Prince of Wands. The Prince of Wands is very charismatic and expression comes naturally to you. You are very skilled at communicating your thoughts through conversation and creative pursuits. You're able to get others on board with your ideas. I am charismatic. And, you know, perhaps, and I'm also feeling the 3rd house, like the 3rd and the 9th house here, because this is a 3 here, are very, very highlighted. Your 3rd house and your 9th house during Cancer season, I feel. And maybe there was a time when you actually were very confident about sharing your views and opinions, and you didn't really take shit, and you were like very vocal and outspoken about sharing your beliefs and opinions. But lately you've just had a lot of anxiety about speaking up, or you've had a lot of like, you know, bad experiences with speaking up that's left you feeling very guarded. But maybe with this 8 of Cups here too, but also feeling empty inside or feeling very guarded about letting somebody in. Okay. Because you have been in the past very, you know, very strong about stating your views and opinions and heroic, even with that. Pile number 3, even if it's cost you a great deal, I feel like in the past. Okay. And there's a need to want to protect yourself and anxiety around doing this again because of what you lost in the past. And for some of you, this could be touching very much into past lives or very much into, you know, how things were when you were younger, that you had no problem speaking up and standing up for what you believed in, but you used to get punished for it like really hard. And there's a lot of trauma around that. And you're very guarded now, and it's hard for you to, I feel you are a very charismatic person, but perhaps a lot of that got watered down, or a lot of it you feel like has been trapped because of like anxiety and being afraid of certain things, you know? Oh yeah, we have dragon and passion. Okay. Ooh, pile number 3. The dragon is a friendly reminder, or a not so friendly reminder, right? Pile number 3, of your strong will and fiery personality. Yeah, that's the Prince of Wands, definitely. Your strong will and fiery personality. It is also a symbol of passion and fire. You are being asked to practice self-control and be cautious so that your passion does not lead you into trouble. Well, I mean, and I feel like this is something that in the past, yeah, and it could have caused a lot of trauma or a lot of, you know, issues in the past, because you were very outspoken or because you were very expressive about how you felt about something and very passionate about something. Okay, and maybe some people were calling you dramatic or saying, oh, you're over overreacting, you're dramatic, or even, you know, as a kid making fun of you because you were crashing out or freaking out about certain things, or even in your family, being physically or violently shaken or disturbed because you were trying to say how you felt and be expressive, but it was just not allowed, and it always got shut down. And so you became very guarded, and in a way it kind of fucked with your passion and your ability to express yourself as a true dragon that you are, because it kind of maybe even shut down your throat chakra in some ways, pile number 3. Okay. And this ability to be fiery and strong and stand up for your beliefs and be charismatic and be, you know, even if you does make things harder for you, even if there are punishments because of it, you know, I feel like in the past you didn't really care about that. You said what you thought, right? Pile number 3. And now you're a bit more guarded. And perhaps there is a middle ground somewhere with that. But I also feel like rediscovering this passionate dragon within you is very important for your mental and emotional well-being. We have clairaudience. Are your ears ringing or burning? Spirit is trying to reach out to you. Ooh, that dragon energy is coming up right with that clairaudient energy right there. And, you know, with the 9th house, talk about, you know, spirit really coming through and speaking to you, and then you kind of repeating it. Yeah. Like a lot of this stuff that you would get and say, maybe even when you were younger, was not even coming from you yourself. Perhaps it was like being clairaudiently received, okay? And maybe that gave you a lot of anxiety and made you feel very exposed, right? Because you felt like maybe it was something you didn't have very good control over. We have difficulty in the beginning. Yeah, and difficulty in the beginning is very much with that cardinal energy. Now, people that don't have a lot of cardinal energy in their chart, okay, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, that's cardinal. If you have almost nothing of that in your chart, and you have no cardinal energy, then, you know, starting new things could be very hard for you. Or if you have that energy, but it's all squaring Saturn, or it's all, you know, wrapped up in something else, then there could be difficulties with starting new things because of anxiety. Like it's safer maybe to hold back, or it's safer maybe to just like stay in your shell. Look at her. She's in a shell. She's literally inside of a shell. It feels safer, right? The anxiety can't get you there when you're inside of a shell. And but that can make it very difficult to kind of break out of our circumstances when we like regulate ourselves to being in a shell. And this talks about difficulty in the beginning, but she's breaking out of her shell. You can also see in this picture, the shell has broken and she's breaking out of it. So this can be where we're having growing pains. And right now, you know, Jupiter is in Cancer, and that's lovely, but it is squaring Saturn, you know, so there is growing pains, there is labor pains, there is difficulty, right? And Cancer is the sign of, you know, giving birth and having babies and all of that. And we know when, you know, when a baby's coming out, there are definitely pains associated with that. And even during our teenage years, when we're getting like cramps in our legs, or different parts of our body are cramping, that type of energy, our electrolyte balance is off and our body's kind of like cramping. Those are, we could be having growing pains, all right? And awkwardness, right? Awkwardness in the beginning, like teenager, like awkward teenager. And as we're kind of like opening our baby eyes and looking out into the world, it's like, oh my God, I feel so awkward and I feel like people are judging me and I feel like this is like really bad. But man, I wish I could take the Judgy McJudgersons of the world and just flick them off, okay? Because pile number 3, it's only people who start new things that have to face judgment. If you do the same thing from now until the end of eternity, you're going to get really good at it, but you're never going to have the opportunity of being a beginner at anything, right? And anyway, there's always an awkwardness and a vulnerability when we're like very inexperienced at something and we haven't really done it too much yet. And we could be like afraid to try. And this could be like when we're taking a class, right? The 9th house, right? Studying in class, and the teacher calls on us and wants us to kind of like perform or do our job or whatever, give the answer. And we're a little awkward, we're a little shaky because we've never done it before. And we're like, I think it should be this. And then if we have a loving, stable, and consistent teacher, they don't make us feel judged. They celebrate us and say, wow, good try, good job. And, yeah, you're on the right track, but, add this thing, add that thing, and then you'll really be, as they say, cooking with gas, pile number 3. And so, yeah, there is a vulnerability, and maybe some of you will be doing new things during Cancer season that you haven't tried before, and you're feeling a little guarded, especially if people are having judgments or criticism towards that, because you are very new at trying something or doing something. And I would also say, don't be afraid of trying something or doing something new. And being kind of like a beginner at it, because I mean, fuck it. Oh, well, everyone has to learn, right? And everyone was a beginner at some point. Pile number 3, everyone. All right. And so go for it is what I'm going to say to that. And we have Sun in Sagittarius. Ooh, adventure. Stride out into new territory. Pile number 3, stride out, baby. Don't let fears or things trap you and hold you back from just going for it, okay? Engage your passions, your charisma, even if it is a difficult beginning. Like if you've never rode a camel in your life and it's your first time riding one, you're going to be scared. You're going to be, oh shit, am I doing this right? Oh my God, right? But then after your 10th time of riding a camel, you're like, I got this. This isn't so bad. This is easy. This is like riding a horse, which I've done 100 times, that type of thing. So yeah, you're just going to be like, this is all, this is like fine. And that's something that we find in the 9th house is adventure and traveling and stepping out into new territory and trying new things and following our dharma. Even if we look like a silly goofball doing it, we still try it anyway, right? And maybe some of you are going to be going to a new class or a new thing and you're like, oh my God, I've never done this before. But I mean, that's the warrior energy, going out and trying things that you haven't done before and tackling experiences and getting experiences under your belt. So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you. I hope you have an amazing Cancer season. Wishing you the best. Take care.